talking about what Draymond was talking about, which is saying the CBA ended free agency, you know what name I think about when I think about this, Dan? I think about Jonathan Kuminga. You anything about Jonathan Kuminga?
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about him?
Because now he's in a tight spot, because normally he'd just be like, you know what, I'm going to test free agency, but there's no gauge of like really what that value could be for him, because now he'd probably be taking a pay cut if he really believes in himself. He's like, you know what, let me just run it back another year, because clearly Golden State doesn't want to extend me. He
doesn't fit there. He doesn't fit there. He turned down an extension last year. I heard on the good enough authority that it was in excess of $100 million that he turned down a rookie scale extension.
Wow.
And I would guess in large part because he didn't feel like he could excel there where the money wasn't going to be enough. And maybe, just maybe, if I go somewhere else and get traded, I can get the Chet Holmgren extension.
Right.
Why would he not believe that he couldn't get a Chet Holmgren-like extension if he goes to the right team and they can sign me to a 5-year deal? Makes perfect sense. So So to land the plane as we end this segment, what I'm trying to say, guys, is free agency used to be like this endless bonanza where, oh man, like LeBron can go somewhere, KD can go somewhere, or your top 5 players could potentially go somewhere. Those players aren't going anywhere. And maybe that's a good thing. But what happens is the texture of the teams that are around Kevin Durant, those players have a hard time staying where they're at, even if you're drafted by this team. Even, you know what I'm saying? Even if the team has done the right thing, you've done the right thing, you want to stay with the team that drafted you, there are fewer mechanisms for you to get your money. You can get it. You're just going to have to go somewhere else in a less desirable situation to get it. And where the fans lose is they have to check their media guides every year to see who's playing
where.
Wait,
he's on this team now? Wait, what? This guy got traded? The biggest free agency move this offseason was what? Miles Turner, 4 years, $107 million? That was it. Miles Turner. So I think Draymond's right to a certain extent. Like, if that's your biggest marquee free agency maneuver, free agency is pretty much dead. It's a lot of role player movement. We saw tons of trades. Shams was dropping bombs. It's just, these are mid-level players that help your team build out a roster. It's not franchise-altering, marquee players, superstars.
Yeah, and that's like I said, I've been talking to some prominent agents who rep the top players and who also rep the lunch pail guys, right? And what it looks like is going to happen is the owners wanted the NFL, right? They wanted the NFL where 30 teams are relevant, and this is where the media rights deals come in, where if 30 teams are relevant and there's a game on every night, there's not going to be a bad product on television every night. Like, there might be a bad team, but it's not going to be a bad game because you're not going to have the extremes of really good versus really bad. And that makes a lot of sense, and we will see if it works. Like, it sounds like I am criticizing everything. I am merely giving people the observation of how the players, from the standpoint, even though they are winning, it feels like they are losing because, once again, fewer ways and fewer mechanisms for you to go and get your money. You're going to get your money by and large. It's just the places that you can go to get them, the continuity of the fans that cannot see you grow with your team. Not just the stars, but the role players. And not just the role players, but the veterans who help build the texture of the league. If you have to wonder where the veterans are year after year, you lose connectivity. You lose like, man, I watched him grow up here and I wanted him to stay here and watch this team climb and grow together and maybe stay, so that with a team chasing them, like the Denver Nuggets or the Boston Celtics or whomever, or the Oklahoma City Thunder, let's see if we can have a clash of the Titans. You're going to have a lot more random NBA finals year after year, a lot less sustainability, which to some people they may like because you feel like your team has a greater chance. But if your team is good and they've done things the right way, there's a very little chance that your team can actually stay there.